So, Prince William reportedly had Camilla's grandson physically removed from Windsor Castle. And the most telling part of the entire situation is not even the removal itself. It is the fact that Princess Anne was standing right there, saw it happen, and reportedly did not step in. No dramatic statement. No soft intervention. No attempt to smooth things over. Just silence. And in the royal family, silence is rarely empty. When Princess Anne, of all people, does not move to calm a family situation, that usually means something much bigger is happening beneath the surface. Because Anne is not impulsive. She is not emotional in public. She is not someone who performs outrage for cameras. She watches, calculates, understands the institution, and then lets her position be known through what she does, or through what she refuses to do. And according to reports, in this moment at Windsor, she refused to stop it. That is why this story matters. Not because one member of Camilla's extended family had an uncomfortable afternoon. This matters because it looks like a preview of the monarchy William is preparing to build. A smaller monarchy. A stricter monarchy. A monarchy where access is no longer treated as a family courtesy, but as institutional privilege. Before we get into what reportedly happened at Windsor and why it has caused so much quiet shock inside royal circles, let us start with the basic picture. Camilla's grandson, one of her 5 grandchildren from her first marriage to Andrew Parker Bowles, was reportedly at Windsor Castle. According to multiple reports, William made the call to have him escorted out. This was not described as a polite early exit. It was not a soft suggestion that maybe it was time to leave. Reports describe security being involved, a physical removal from the premises, and a very clear message being sent about who belongs in certain royal spaces and who absolutely does not. The grandson has not been named in every report, but Camilla has 5 grandchildren. Eliza, Gus, and Luis Lopez through her daughter Laura Lopez, and Lola and Freddie Parker Bowles through her son Tom Parker Bowles. These are private citizens. No titles. No HRH style. No official royal role. No constitutional position. No public duty that requires their presence near the heart of the monarchy. And yet, for years, they have been seen around royal life. They have attended events. They have appeared at family gatherings. They have been included in Christmas celebrations and treated, at least socially, as part of the wider royal circle. That inclusion did not happen by accident. When King Charles and Camilla first married, the palace worked carefully to integrate her family into royal life. Part of that was about reducing public skepticism. Part of it was about normalizing Camilla's place beside Charles. And to be fair, that long strategy worked. Camilla went from being called the most hated woman in England to being crowned queen beside Charles in May 2023. That is one of the most remarkable public image transformations in modern royal history. But there is a difference between rehabilitating Camilla personally and permanently weaving her non-royal family into the institution itself. And William, it seems, has decided that difference matters. The Windsor removal did not happen in isolation. It looks like the latest and most dramatic signal in a longer pattern of William drawing hard boundaries around who gets access to the inner circle of the monarchy. To understand why he would act this directly, you have to understand the future he appears to be building. William has been consistent about wanting a slimmed-down, efficient royal operation. He does not seem interested in maintaining a sprawling court filled with distant relatives, extended households, social hangers-on, and people whose connection to royalty is personal rather than constitutional. His vision appears to be tighter, cleaner, and more disciplined. A small core group, clear public service, less noise, less baggage, less confusion. This is not just talk. You can see it in who appears on palace balconies during major events like Trooping the Color. You can see it in who gets invited to certain gatherings. You can see it in which family members are positioned close to the crown and which ones are slowly moved toward the edges. William is consciously curating the public face of the monarchy, and Camilla's grandchildren do not fit the picture he is creating. The situation with Prince Andrew sharpened William's thinking even further. Andrew became a massive public relations disaster. His links to Jeffrey Epstein, the disastrous BBC Newsnight interview, and his refusal to cooperate with American authorities turned him into a long-running institutional problem. William was reportedly furious, not only about Andrew's behavior, but about how slowly the palace responded. He wanted decisive action. Eventually, He reportedly pushed Charles toward stripping Andrew of his royal titles in late 2025. That moment showed William's willingness to make hard decisions about who stays and who goes, even when the person involved is family. And if William is willing to take that position against a blood royal, a prince born into the family, imagine how much easier the calculation becomes when the people involved are Camilla's non-royal grandchildren, who hold no official position at all. But here is where the pattern becomes even more interesting. Camilla's family attended the 2024 Christmas celebrations at Sandringham for the first time. At the time, that was seen as a major moment of inclusion. It looked like a clear signal that Camilla's relatives were being welcomed deeper into the royal fold. Then in December 2025, reports said Camilla's two children, Tom Parker Bowles and Laura Lopez, would not be joining the King and Queen for Christmas at Sandringham. Tom reportedly confirmed it himself. The official explanation was that the gathering was more private and family-focused, partly because Charles was managing his cancer treatment. But here is the detail people noticed. Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie still attended Sandringham that year, despite their father Andrew being stripped of his titles. They chose loyalty to the monarchy over loyalty to their disgraced father, and they still had a seat at the table. Camilla's children did not. So when the palace says family-focused, it increasingly appears that what they mean is the Windsors specifically, not Camilla's extended relatives. That is a shift. And when you combine the Christmas exclusion with William, now reportedly having Camilla's grandson removed from Windsor, the pattern becomes difficult to ignore. The timeline matters because it shows escalation. This is not one strange incident. This looks like a gradual, deliberate redefinition of who counts as inner circle and who does not. Royal families communicate through symbols as much as words. A seat at the Christmas table at Sandringham represents belonging. Being escorted out of Windsor Castle by security represents the opposite. In 2025, Camilla's family was no longer at the table. Now one of her grandsons was reportedly removed from a royal residence. Whatever softer explanation may be offered, the message is clear to anyone paying attention. The circle is tightening. The dynamic between William and Camilla has always been complicated beneath the surface. Publicly, they have worked together. They found common ground during the Andrew crisis, both wanting decisive action to protect the monarchy. But sharing a common problem does not automatically create warmth. And the history between them is heavy. Camilla played a central role in the breakdown of William's parents' marriage. Princess Diana famously described her marriage as crowded, and everyone understood what she meant. William watched his mother suffer through that. He watched the marriage fall apart. He watched Camilla gradually move closer to Charles, then closer to the crown. For years, William maintained what looked like a polite distance from Camilla. Civil in public, but not warm. Functional, but cautious. People close to the family have often described a chill beneath the surface. And that kind of history does not vanish simply because they both agreed Andrew had to be pushed out. Think about what that must have been like for William as a teenager. He was old enough to understand what was happening. He saw the headlines. He heard the whispers. He watched his mother's pain become a public spectacle while the whole world stared. And Camilla was always there in the background, the third person in the marriage, the name everyone knew but nobody wanted to say around the dinner table. That kind of experience does not leave a son. You can learn to be polite. You can work together. You can accept the reality of someone's position. But the emotional architecture of that relationship will always be shaped by what came before. Diana called Camilla the third person in her marriage. That is not something William forgets, no matter how many official portraits are taken, no matter how many public smiles are exchanged, and no matter how many carefully managed appearances are staged. In 2025, reports began suggesting Camilla was uncomfortable with the amount of attention William and Kate were receiving from the palace. There were claims she felt sidelined as the machinery of the monarchy shifted its focus toward the Wales family and their future. Friends of Kate reportedly made remarks that senior royals, including Camilla, found difficult because they made the older generation feel overlooked. And beyond the personal tension, there is a much bigger issue coming. When Charles eventually passes away, Camilla becomes Queen Dowager. That transition changes everything. Her household budget, her access to royal life, her staff, her position, and her influence all become subject to the new king. And the new king will be William. The same William whose mother was, in the public mind, pushed aside by Camilla. William is already thinking about that future. The palace is strongly promoting him, preparing him for his role. Part of that preparation involves deciding who will belong in his royal court and who will not. And the reported removal of Camilla's grandson from Windsor feels like a preview of those decisions. Let us pause here and really understand what the Queen Dowager transition means in practical terms. When Charles dies, Camilla does not only lose her husband. She loses the central reason she sits at the heart of royal life. Her title changes. Her office changes. Her staff changes. Her funding changes. The grace and favor residences she has enjoyed become subject to approval from the new monarch. The access she has had to the machinery of the crown is recalibrated. Even the way she is addressed in official communication changes. Everything that made her position secure, Charles's authority, Charles's protection, and Charles's insistence that she be treated as queen, disappears the moment he is gone. And who decides what happens next? William. The same William who was 14 years old when his mother gave that panorama interview and told the world there were 3 people in her marriage. The same William who has spent decades building a careful, controlled public image while privately carrying wounds most people can only imagine. If you are Camilla, that reality has to keep you awake at night, no matter how cordial things may look on the surface. This is where Princess Anne enters the picture. And her role is fascinating precisely because she reportedly said nothing. And is one of the hardest working members of the royal family. She completed 478 official engagements in 2025, outpacing everyone else, including William. At 74, she is still active, still disciplined, still following a personal code built around duty, dignity, discretion, and service. She has known Camilla for decades. They moved in the same horse riding circles long before Charles and Camilla's relationship became public. She attended their wedding in 2005 and has maintained a respectful relationship with her sister-in-law. And is loyal to the institution above all else. She witnessed the damage Charles's affair did to the monarchy. She watched Diana's public suffering. She saw the strain on William and Harry. She has never turned it into a public interview. She has never written a memoir. She has never made herself the story. She just keeps working. So when reports say Anne was present during the Windsor removal and gave what is being described as silent approval, that matters. And does not do things by accident. Her silence is not always neutrality. In a family that communicates through gesture, seating plans, balcony placements, and who appears beside whom, silence can be a message. During the 2026 Commonwealth Day service at Westminster Abbey, cameras captured interactions among Charles, Camilla, William, Kate, and Anne. Observers noted Anne's usual reserve and careful positioning, the kind of presence that watches everything while revealing very little. Some royal commentators, though unverified, believe and supports William's approach to reshaping the monarchy. They believe she sees similar values in him: responsibility over comfort, duty over personal convenience, the institution over individual feelings. If William is quietly gaining influence and moving certain figures to the sidelines, including Camilla's family, and is almost certainly aware of it, whether she actively agrees or simply watches calmly, drawing on decades of royal experience going back to the 1970s, her silence is notable. And in the royal world, silence often carries meaning. Let us talk more about Anne, because understanding her is key to understanding why her reported silence matters so much. And has never chased the spotlight. She has never given a tell-all interview. She has never written a self-pitying memoir. She has never complained publicly about workload, hierarchy, or feeling overlooked. She shows up, does the job, and goes home. In 2025 alone, she completed 478 engagements. That is more than one per day across the year, at an age when most people would have been retired for a decade or more. She visits hospitals, opens community centers, meets military units, represents the crown abroad, attends state funerals, and does it all with a kind of unsentimental efficiency that has become her trademark. She is also famously blunt and private. People who have worked with her often describe someone who does not suffer fools, does not play palace games, and does not waste time on anything that does not serve the institution. If Anne thought William was out of line at Windsor, she would have made that known. Maybe not publicly. She would never embarrass the family for cameras. But privately, she would have spoken. The fact that she reportedly did not intervene, did not object, and did not raise even a visible protest tells royal watchers everything. In Anne's worldview, the institution comes first. Always. And if removing Camilla's grandson was what the institution needed in that moment, then so be it. What makes the Windsor removal so striking is that it is not just about one grandson having a bad day. It is about what it reveals regarding William's entire approach to his future reign. Everything happening now, the alliances, the tensions, the repositioning of family members, and the quiet redrawing of boundaries, should be understood in the light of what William's monarchy is likely to become. He is not going to be a passive king. He is not going to keep traditions alive just because they are old. He is going to make changes focused on efficiency, public legitimacy, and institutional survival. Palace sources and royal experts have described William as becoming more serious, more focused, and more willing to make difficult decisions. The Andrews situation proved that. The move from Adelaide Cottage to Forest Lodge on the Windsor Home Park Estate in November 2025 proved it too. William and Kate are building their own household, separate from Buckingham Palace, creating their own court and their own way of doing things. In William's future monarchy, the focus will likely be on a tight core group: William, Kate, George, Charlotte, and Louis. A small group of working royals may support them, likely including Edward and Sophie, the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, who have become trusted supporters. Princess Anne will remain important for as long as she is able. Eventually George will grow into a larger role. He turns 13 in July 2026, and discussions about his schooling at Eton or Marlborough are already underway. What does not appear to fit that picture is Camilla's grandchildren attending royal events or her family being folded into royal life as if they carry institutional weight. This approach may not even be personal. It is structural. William wants the Windsors to perform clear public roles with maximum legitimacy and minimum confusion. Anyone around them who does not contribute to that mission becomes, in his view, a possible risk or distraction. Camilla's family, however much Charles personally cares for them, represents exactly the kind of complexity that does not fit William's streamlined monarchy. And streamlined visions require hard choices. You cannot slim down an institution without cutting things away. Every reduction means someone loses access. Someone loses status. Someone loses closeness to power they may have grown used to. William appears to understand that and seems entirely willing to live with the consequences. He is not trying to be everyone's friend. He is not trying to keep peace by letting every person have a small piece of the royal pie. He is drawing lines. And according to reports, at Windsor, he enforced one. That is why this moment feels bigger than one removal. It looks like the beginning of a new normal. Every time a non-royal relative assumes they will be included, every time Camilla's family expects an invitation, every time someone acts as if old rules still apply, William appears ready to remind them that the rules are changing. The broader context matters too. The British monarchy is at a genuine turning point. King Charles is 77 and undergoing cancer treatment. His doctors reportedly believe he can reduce treatment in 2026, and his health is said to be improving. He and Camilla plan an important state visit to Washington, D.C. in spring 2026 to mark America's 250th anniversary. He remains king and still holds constitutional authority. As one palace insider noted, none of his formal power has been handed to William. But another kind of power is already moving. The power to shape public perception. The power to prepare the future. The power to decide what the next reign will look like. That power is increasingly flowing toward William. At the same time, Camilla is facing her own turning point. Debbie Frank, Princess Diana's former astrologer, has predicted that Camilla's role will change significantly after April 2026. She believes Camilla may step back from duties younger royals can handle, while still remaining influential. Health is part of the picture. Camilla struggled with fatigue from pneumonia in late 2024, has had ongoing mobility concerns, and at 78 is naturally reducing her workload. Consider the timing. Charles is fighting cancer while trying to project the image of an active monarch. Camilla is managing her own health while watching her influence slowly become less central. William is stepping forward with growing confidence, making decisions that would have felt unthinkable only a few years ago. And through all of it, the palace machine keeps moving, adapting to the future king before the future has officially arrived. This is not a coup. It is not even dramatic by old royal standards. It is the natural process of one reign winding down and another preparing to begin. The unusual part is how visible it has become. In previous generations, these transitions happened behind thicker walls, with fewer leaks and less public scrutiny. But the modern monarchy lives in a glass house. Every crack is photographed, analyzed, debated, and turned into a narrative. William knows this. He grew up inside it. And it appears he has decided that clarity about his direction is better than pretending everything is harmonious when it clearly is not. As the palace adjusts to all these changes, Charles stepping back, William stepping forward, Camilla redefining her position, and the Wales household gaining more gravity, the arrangements around who belongs were being quietly renegotiated. During that process, Camilla's non-royal family is almost certainly losing influence. For the Parker Bowles and Lopez grandchildren, this is simply how things are unfolding. They were never royals. They were connected to royalty through their grandmother's extraordinary rise from scandalous mistress to respected queen. That journey is one of the greatest personal makeovers in modern British history. But the benefits they enjoyed were tied to Charles's reign. And Charles's reign will eventually end. When it ends, the new king will set new boundaries. Everything, from who sits at Christmas lunch at Sandringham to whose children grow up close to Windsor, will be viewed through William's vision for the monarchy. Pause on the phrase greatest personal makeover in modern British history, because it is worth understanding what Camilla actually pulled off. In the 1990s, she was arguably the most disliked woman in Britain. Tabloids attacked her constantly. The public blamed her for destroying the fairy tale marriage of the century. She could barely appear in public without hostility. Restaurants reportedly refused service. People shouted insults in the street. The idea that she would one day be crowned queen in Westminster Abbey, with the Archbishop of Canterbury placing a crown on her head while the nation watched, would have sounded impossible. But it happened. Through patience, careful palace management, Charles's devotion, and her own determination to outlast the controversy, Camilla achieved something extraordinary. She did not only become tolerated, she became queen. That is not nothing. It shows the power of persistence and the monarchy's ability to reshape public opinion over time. But here is what Camilla's grandchildren need to understand, and what William appears to understand clearly. That transformation was personal to Camilla. It was not institutional for her entire family. The crown absorbed Camilla because Charles insisted on it and because the public eventually accepted it. But the crown has no constitutional obligation to Camilla's extended family. Their connection is personal, not structural. And in William's monarchy, that distinction will matter more than ever. The fact that this reported removal happened at Windsor specifically makes it feel even more pointed. Windsor is William and Kate's territory now. They moved their family there. They are building their household there. They are creating their own center of gravity, separate from Buckingham Palace. For Camilla's grandson to be removed from that specific place by William's direction, with security involved, sends an unmistakable message about who controls that space and who no longer gets to assume belonging there. This was not just one awkward afternoon. It was the future king establishing that his court will have boundaries. And those boundaries will be enforced. Windsor has always been more than a castle. It is the oldest and largest occupied castle in the world, dating back to William the Conqueror in the 11th century. It has been a royal residence for nearly 1,000 years. It survived the English Civil War, the abdication crisis, the Blitz, and centuries of Windsor family drama. It is where Queen Elizabeth II spent her final years. It is where she took refuge during the pandemic. It is where she is now buried in the King George VI Memorial Chapel alongside Prince Philip and her parents. Windsor carries weight. It carries history. It carries the authority of nearly 1,000 years of monarchy. And William has chosen it as his home, his headquarters, and his symbolic center of operations. So if Camilla's grandson was removed from Windsor specifically, William was not only saying, "You do not belong here right now." He was saying, "You do not belong in the institution's future." That is a much bigger statement. And anyone who understands royal symbolism would hear it clearly. Princess and will continue observing quietly, saying nothing publicly, completing her hundreds of engagements each year with the same hard discipline she has always shown. She has seen royal dramas come and go since the 1970s. She knows that in this family, duty outlasts drama, and the institution survives by adapting. William is writing the next chapter of the royal story right now. The question is not whether Camilla's family's position will change. It already is changing. The real question is how much further William will go, how sharply he will draw these lines, and whether anyone, including Charles, will push back. Based on what reportedly happened at Windsor, the answer seems clear. The future king has decided who belongs. And he is not waiting for permission to act. Really, that is the core of this entire situation. Permission. For decades, the monarchy operated under an unspoken understanding that Charles would manage his household his way, and when the time came, William would manage his reign his way. The transition was supposed to be smooth, orderly, and polite. But William appears to have decided that waiting for a formal transition is a luxury the monarchy cannot afford. The institution needs to start changing now. The boundaries need to be drawn now. The people who do not belong need to understand that now. And if Charles objects, the reality is complicated. Charles is 77, fighting cancer, and increasingly focused on his legacy and remaining time. He may not have the energy or the will to fight his son over who gets to visit Windsor and who does not. He may not even disagree. For all anyone knows, Charles understands exactly what William is doing and has quietly accepted it as the price of securing the monarchy's future. Or he may be privately furious but unwilling to create a public rift that would damage the institution both men want to protect. Either way, the result is the same. William is acting. Camilla's family is being sidelined. And nobody with the power to stop it is stopping it. So where does this leave us? It leaves us watching a monarchy in transition, not just between reigns, but between philosophies. The expansive, inclusive approach associated with Charles's reign, the big family gatherings, the careful integration of Camilla's relatives, and the idea that the royal tent could stretch wide enough to include everyone, is giving way to something tighter. Something more disciplined. Something more exclusive. William's monarchy will be smaller, sharper, and more focused. It will have less patience for complexity, less tolerance for peripheral figures, less room for people whose connection to the crown is personal rather than constitutional. Camilla's grandchildren may simply be the first to feel that shift. They will not be the last. The message from Windsor is clear. The future has arrived early, and it has very firm ideas about who gets to be part of it.